Brought to you by Penguin.
I'm Not As Well As I Thought I Was, written and read by me, Ruby Wax. Chapter 1. The Clinic. I've spent a lifetime creating a front to give the illusion that all was well. It wasn't, and it isn't. Ruby Wax. Clinic. The 11th of May, 2022. This was the only sound I could hear each day while getting a treatment called RTMS, which is repetitive transcranial magnetic stimulation. Some young guy, wearing an apron like he's a butcher, not a doctor, put something like a bathing cap over my head and strapped it under my chin. And then over that, something that looked like a 50s hairdryer was lowered over my head. But it's not a hairdryer. It's way more than a hairdryer. It's a complex piece of machinery that stimulates the brain and causes neuroplasticity. Picture 82 billion strands of spaghetti. Okay, they're neurons, in case somebody out there is believing our heads are full of pasta. Those neurons are changing partners, making new connections, trillions of them, with every zap of the hammer. Like speed dating, but for neurons. It feels like Woody Woodpecker and his cartoon pals are gangbanging my head. And it... fast and furious. You get 18 pulses in 1 second. Then there's a gap, and that happens 55 times in a session. I can't do the math, but it's a lot of zaps. I'm so desperate I don't mind the bangs, even though they're pretty violent. If you've had Botox, this is nothing. He knows it's working when my face contorts. It suddenly twitches into a grotesque grimace, and he tells me that's a sign it's doing its job. I always like to compete, even with myself, so I tell him to up the intensity, which he does, and my face turns into a tight, convulsive pucker, a gurn. I figure if the hammering is set higher, I won't have to do 20 sessions. I'm wrong. You have to do all 20 sessions. Remember that scene when Dr. Frankenstein is using the power of an electrical storm outside as voltage to wake up his monster and get him walking with those ridiculous goose steps and sleepwalker arms? Of course you do. After the first treatment, I walk like that along madhouse hallways with the blue frayed, badly stained industrial carpets. When was this place last decorated? Good question. There's a painting of Florence Nightingale on the wall, so my guess is she must have personally helped them with the decor and color schemes. If you would have told me that something like RTMS existed, I think you had watched too much sci-fi. RTMS, unlike ECT, electroconvulsive therapy, is the last saloon treatment for those who don't respond to any medication. But with ECT, they knock you out, put a bit between your teeth so you don't bite off your tongue, and let the voltage rip. Electric currents bring on a small seizure, which, fingers crossed, changes the brain chemistry. In other words, you're fried. And even worse, there's a good chance that there might be a tiny bit of memory loss. Not good for a human who wants to remember their name, or if they're from planet Earth. RTMS uses magnets, which they say have no serious side effects, but it's still a jumpstart for neurons to communicate better. I don't answer my phone because I wouldn't know who I am, let alone who they are. Nothing is working except my eyes, which dart around the room. I notice they designed the room to make sure there's nothing you could hang yourself from. There are no faucets in the sink, so water just squirts from the wall. How do you hang yourself from a faucet? They're plastic hangers which can't even hang on a rail, so most of them are on the floor. I could think of a few ways if you wanted to end your life, as in butt your head into the television screen. But I'm not thinking about killing myself. I just wish my life would stop. It hurts so much. There's a constant stream of nurses coming in to see me. Some take blood, some hand me little cups filled with multicolored pills. Some come to check if I'm still alive. Some come to bring me food, which tastes...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?